come on, do it. I'm right here. What are you waiting for? You ugly son of a...
What's up, everybody? Good to see you. What's up? I'm back. And keeping my promise here. One video a week. We're trying. Hey, guys. What's up? We're talking about the Predator, the thing behind me, the Predator Showdown, the game that I got done playing for the last 3 days on stream. I figured, you know what, that'd be a good time to talk about it. I've had enough, time underneath my belt to, I've reached like level 50 or so, and I figured, you know what, hopefully I have enough knowledge that if you're on the fence and you're like, yeah, maybe I'll give it a shot, maybe you won't, maybe you'll pick it up, hopefully I can kind of steer you in the right direction. Whether you get it or you don't, at least you'll be more knowledgeable about your purchasing. So, anyways, besides that, I hope you're doing well. Happy Wednesday, happy Odin's Day. This is when this video is dropping, I think. But let's get into it. Let's have some fun. Let's get down in Pound Town, where the Predator is the mayor, baby. So, I guess let's start with the good things, right? Because this is a weird game for me. I guess maybe it's like going to a really shady carnival, right? There's fun to be had here. There is fun to be had here, and throughout my whole entire time playing the game on stream, I think it kind of bled through. I was having a good time. I just wiped him so hard! And there are some really unique things about this game. I suppose if you ever played Dead by Daylight, right, and if you know what that game is, you have a survivors, right? There's a survivor, then there's the killer. And the survivors are usually stuck doing a certain objectives, right? And in Dead by Daylight, as an example, you're going to be turning on generators to open the gate to get out of there. Where I really enjoyed the Predator's version on this is the fact that the fire team has different objectives. Maybe it's kill a drug lord. Maybe it's testing water and then protecting the laboratory. Maybe it's hijacking a train. But the point is, the fire team had a bunch of different objectives. I really like that. On top of having marginally good gunplay, right? The gunplay felt good, right? Perfect? No, but there were times where I just felt like I was banging shots out, right? And I felt it connect. And gunplay, and especially in the sense of a fire team, has to feel solid. And they did a good job with that. They really did a good job with that. Struggling, boys. Daddy Thor's getting real good at shooting in this game, boys. Daddy Thor's getting real good at shooting in this game, baby. The different objectives felt fresh after playing the game for 50 hours or so. I was always finding new objectives on top of branching objectives. So, for instance, Predator attacks you, right? And let's say the Predator is a big potato, and you manage to knock off his mask. You manage to defuse the bomb, right? And so what you're left with is the Predator just like, ah! And so then then the mission changes, like, hey there, fire team, protect the body. And so now you have to protect the body, right? And that's an example of branching, where you're doing one objective, now it's a different objective, and they did a really good job of that. That should be commendable, and that should be highlighted. Good job. Another thing that's good is that they've really nailed the bodies and the carnage. Like, you could shoot somebody's arm off. A fire team could blow off other NPCs' arms. And just, the headshots, blood and gore. Then when you're playing the Predator, you just rip out his head with a spine. And you're like, yeah, that's what it's all about, baby. Give it to me. You're the last one. Ah! Ah! Yeah! Baby, it's good. It really is good, and I like that. I like blood. I like carnage. I like, my favorite anime ever is Claymore and Berserk, right? So it's right on my right there for me. And I think a lot of other players were kind of looking for that, and they definitely got it in that. And of course, the sounds and the sound design. You hear the Predator and the clicks and the right, and they do a great job with the atmosphere and the Predator stomps and the jumping and all that kind of stuff. They do a good job with that. They've nailed. While the game is not optimized by any stretch of the imagination, I play on a 1080 Ti, i7 overclocked to 5.0, 32 gigabyte of RAM, and I'm fluctuating in frames from like 60 to 90 to down to like it's not optimized, but they did a good job with the presentation. And I think with some optimization around, it's going to be a good looking game. It's going to be a good sounding game already. So that's the good. That's the good, and I want to highlight the fact that I did have fun with the game, right? We go back to that spooky carnival, and you're like, oh, this is kind of rickety, and I don't know how illegal this is, and I'm having a good time, but I could die. But let's talk about the bad. And wowzer. Wowzer. First and foremost, my lord, get rid of the loot boxes. And as soon as loot boxes leaves my tongue, as soon as it goes out of my mouth, I know there's going to be a subset of the player base that kind of finds himself on two different camps. Number one, oh, if it's only cosmetics, not that big of a deal. And the other one's like, I don't want loot boxes anywhere near my game, right? I personally fall onto the right category. Now, there should be an asterisk here. None of these loot boxes can be bought with real life currency. So as you play the game, you get Shroot Bucks, and these Shroot Bucks can be used to buy loot boxes. Now those were going to contain shaders or different customization options for either the Predator or the Fire Team. But it's almost exactly looking like Star Wars Battlefront 2. Here's a tip for you developers out here. I got 2 tips. First and foremost, never present your loot boxes like Star Wars Battlefront. My lord, it looked just like Star Wars. I was like, what is happening? Don't do this. This is the quintessential thing you don't do. Second, never start a game with 100% sound on. I don't know why developers, sound off in the YouTube comments below. How many times have you started off a game and it's just a blaring at 100? I mean, regardless, back to loot boxes, there's no need for them in the game, right? You have an XP system in the game, and you can unlock something by just spending those Shroot Bucks on the specific item you want. But for whatever reason, they didn't trust in their systems enough to not have loot boxes. And I'll say what they could do instead, but what this kind of reeks of, YouTube, is that they almost are expecting a day in the future where there isn't enough population where they could theoretically add hooks to make a free-to-play Predator game. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like. It feels like they were like, you know what? We're going to charge $40, and we're going to have a lot of customization options here and a lot of cool ones, but instead of doing it through systems that could be really fun and interesting, like, nail 10 headshots with a sniper rifle or kill the biomask 5 times, instead of doing things along those lines for different weapons and stuff like that, which would have been a lot of work but more rewarding for the player in general, instead of going that way, which in my opinion is much better, they went with a loot box scenario. And man, for the life of me, why did you guys do that? Why? It just cheapens the experience and puts a lot of people like me like, ooh, maybe in the future it's going to be a free-to-play game. So that's something that I hope other players would kind of agree with, but, it is what it is. Second, from starting the Predator out, he doesn't start with a primary weapon or a secondary weapon. So the game is literally called Predator, right? Close your eyes, what do you think of a Predator? You think of just a badass guy going after Arnold Schwarzenegger, baby. And man, for the life of me, there's this consensus among new players that the Predator just isn't strong. And now I understand why players think that, right? Because as the Predator, you can get snapped up, you can get destroyed. And if you're playing a good team with comms, your Predator has to use every single trick in its bag. Unfortunately, you don't really get a big bag. You know what I mean? Especially new Predators, you're given legitimately nothing. Legitimately, you have a healing. That's all you have. And you have your plasma caster. But you don't get a combi stick. You don't get the bow. You don't get the disc. You don't get, you know what I mean? You don't get the net shot. And so people play the Predator once, and they get wollywomped, and you're like, what is happening here? You know what I mean? It's the Predator, baby. What? Why? Come on. Come on. Give me daddy a little something, something. Now, the Predator does get things as you play the game, and as you level up, you get levels, and then you get, unlock the net shot, the combi stick, the bow. I have a point of contention with each of the things that he gets as well. The disc is just garbage. It doesn't fly right. Oh, let's use the smart disc. I haven't used the smart disc, Chad. Let's use the smart disc. Let's try it out. I have not used this ever, Chad. Oh my god. This is absolutely garbage. The bow has a timer of length that you can pull, and it just doesn't feel great. You've had, the difference between shooting a bow in a game where you're like, yeah, it feels amazing. You're shooting a bow, and you're like, okay, it's a bow, right?
Yo, he's on the roof right beside me. Yep. Oh shit, I'm about dead.
On top of having the plasma caster, which is the same thing, just it uses energy and hits hard. So there's a lot of balancing issues here, which I can kind of just be like, okay, it's a new game and they need to balance this shit. But what I'm saying is the Predator needs good stuff, cool stuff, and things that are really impactful, right? The bear traps are very strange because you can put these bear traps down and they'll latch onto somebody's leg, but you don't know the objective the fire team is going after. So the idea would be like, okay, what do you think of the Predator swooping down from trees, grabbing player, ripping them in half? But they really get a audio transmission jammer and they get a bear traps. Come on, it's the Predator. Give me something here, dude. left me very underwhelmed. And on top of that, before you could even get those really cool stuff, you need XP, like I mentioned before. And you have perks. So those perks could do anything between so I mentioned the plasma bolt launcher, and it has like a tracking system, and that like shows you where you're going to be aiming. And that laser's pretty thick. It's a thick laser, thick fillet. But you can get a perk that, called dithered lens that will make the laser less visible, right? And the idea is that these perks are going to kind of help you really kind of hone in on that play style you want. Unfortunately, though, and I don't know why, the developers felt it necessary to add an XP perk. Now, granted, like maybe it's just a amateur design choice or something, but you're punishing players. You're punishing people who don't have a lot of time to play the game to unlock the cool shit. So you feel like you're like, oh, well, I want to get to the cool stuff, so let me take away one of the 3 perks that I could potentially have on my character and get more XP from all sources. Dude, this is such a bad design choice. Like, why? Why? You barely have anything to begin with, and it feels like you're just crucifying the player for, oh, you don't have a lot of time to play the game? Add this perk, but you're not going to have as much time as playing the game because you had to have this perk on. Same thing with the fire team. There's perks. There's an equivalent perk to the fire team. Don't just stop. Get that out of the game. That's a bad, shitty design change. And speaking of design, for the life of me, this is something that I hope developers will kind of wake up and realize. Give players numbers. Like, I don't know why, for the love of God, that developers don't trust players with numbers. And I know the hearsay from the community is like, oh, well, they'll come up with a meta, right? And guess what? They're going to do that anyways. There's a spreadsheet going around right now with all the numbers from every single damage ability on a Google Doc, right? Why is it up to me to understand how much damage I just did with a fully charged plasma shot? They try to give you something in the form of blips, right? Little blips on the fire team, right? Like, this weapon does one more blip than this weapon. And I'm like, what is a blip? What are we blipping here, Dave? What are we blipping? What are we doing? What is that? What is a blip? What is a half a blip? What is a quarter blip? Right? And some people said, oh, it's 10%. It's not. 10% of what? What is 10% of a blip? Come on. Stop it now. Don't give me the numbers. Do it. Please, come on. Just give the freaking player base the numbers to make accurate decisions. I just shot somebody with a bow. I shot a scout, right? Scout has 146 health. I shot somebody with an 86% or 86 damaging bow. I know I can go in at that point. Or no, I know I can switch to the plasma and finish him off. Oh, I know I can do another bow shot. Maybe get lucky. You know what I mean? Give players numbers. Do you not trust players enough with the numbers? Is it too hard? Why? Just be secretive. Just give the players the numbers, chat. Give the players. Coupled with tightening up the animations for the Predator, some optimization tweaks, all this together kind of just makes a package here that you almost nailed it. You missed the shot, but you almost nailed it, right? And I think on the whole, though, they did make a good game. It's fun. It's interesting. It's got its quirks. It's got its stuff. But I had fun playing it, right? And every single issue that I have with the game can be fixed. It can be fixed. It can be fixed, right? But are they going to fix it? I don't know. They could. They should. I hope they will. Because I think they have a great basis here for a good game. Like I said, I've been having fun with it, but time will tell whether or not they take these issues. And I hope I'm not going to have a developer respond to this, but I hope you guys at least talk about this, right? Ask yourself, do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? And sound off in the comments down below. What do you think? What do you think? Is Predator destined to be another B game? Is it a fire and forget? I will leave you with one thing. While I was streaming, a viewer said to me, they said, Thor, how would you feel if one of your fire team got killed and Arnold Schwarzenegger, baby, comes in and he's like, chuk, chuk, I'm here for the candy, baby, yeah. So I thought that'd be like, there's precedents before, the same people that made this game made Friday the 13th, and they had a mechanic with Tommy Jarvis comes in, he's like, the savior or whatever. I would love to see that, right? And Arnold Schwarzenegger just tied. That would be so cool. You know what I mean? I think it'd be popping. So who knows, chat? If you think that you have some good ideas, sign off down below. But that's it, man. I hope you guys enjoyed my rant. I hope you guys enjoyed my thoughts on the Predator. I think overall I've had fun with it. You might have too. So let me know what you think. And thanks, guys. There's another video. It's done. Next video will be on Remnant from the Ashes. They just launched their new update. Very, very, very good. You should watch my VOD if you haven't watched it on Twitch, or just trust me enough when I say you should get it. If you like roguelikes, they just had their roguelike update, and you should get it. But that's it for me, chat. I'm off like a prom dress. I'll see you later, guys. Have a great night. And until next time, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. See you. Come on. I'm out of here. I'm done. Get out of here now.